Hey, I'm Adam Thompson. I'm a consultant in strategy, organisational design and leadership. And today I'm going to get into the work in process question, and in particular, how you can perhaps increase the speed of your system by up to 4 times by a simple change of policy. Let's get right into it. The story I'm going to tell today comes from Eli Goldratt. I've spoken about him lots before, an absolute guru when it comes to the way we organise work. The story comes from an educational series. You can watch this on YouTube yourself. And the point of the story is the huge increases in throughput, the ability to get stuff done that you can get with such a small but significant change. The story goes like this. We're talking about the Israeli Air Force, and F-16 planes had to be brought in for maintenance, and maintenance involved pulling the whole thing apart, then putting it back together. But when you're putting a whole F-16 back together, you're going to hit situations that aren't according to the book, in which case you could lodge a ticket with the engineering group. Engineering group had the function of sitting there, tickets would come in, the engineer would then study the problem, would work out a solution, then would go out to the line where the mechanics were working and show them what needs to be done, supervise that it occurred, and then sign off that the job is okay.
You tell me how you feel, so I can write that down on my clipboard. Third, no touching my clipboard.
And what you would have observed if you went out onto the floor was an engineer coming in with a ticket saying, how can I help you out? And then discovering that that mechanic wasn't there. So in order to be busy, in order to be useful, the engineer would go to the next job. Mechanic wasn't there, and the next job and the next job, and would gradually hunt around until they found a job. So each engineer had tens of open tasks on their desk that they were looking to work your way through. Every engineer was making themselves busy and useful by making sure they were utilised at all times. From a team of roughly 70 engineers, we were talking about more than 135 days was the average time from job lodged to job considered to be closed. They tried various things. They tried increasing the amount of overtime. They had hiring an unlimited amount of people, but you can't always find that sort of level of specialist, and there's only so much overtime people can work. So let's turn to the end of the book. The solution I'm about to go through moved the lead time from an average of 135 days to less than 30 days. That's a 4.5 time improvement in total time from job initiated to job closed. From job initiated to job closed. This was the change. Each engineer was only given 3 tickets to work on. That's it. That's it. So what does that mean? If I'm an engineer, I've got my ticket to work on, I go out to see the mechanic at the plane, mechanic's not there. That's okay, I've got a second ticket, I want to be useful. I'll go over here, I'll go to see the mechanic on the plane, not there. Here's the third ticket, you're not there either. Well, I might as well go back to the first one, and I'm going to wait. And then when you appear, I ask you the question, I show you what needs to be done, I observe you doing it, I can sign off, and that one's done. Then I can go to my second one or my third one, or I can go and pick another job out, because now I've got space for the third one. Each engineer is allowed to have 3 at one time, and I can do the next one. That was the change. That is a work practice or a policy change. No other change at all, and it went from 135 down to 30 days. And overtime went down as well, and it was with exactly the same number of engineers that we started with. So what's going on here? This method focuses on the ability to get jobs done, to get them shipped. It focuses on not the utilization of any one area, but the total time from when it gets initiated to when it gets completed. And it reduces what's called setup time. Even though setup time, you might think of it as physically in a factory, literally having to move the machine around to get things done. When we're talking about humans, we're talking about the setup time to have to multitask from one thing to another,
and back to another, and to another, and to another.
It slows us down as people. And if you've got 50 things open on your desk, it's an illusion to think that you can do those 50 things trying to get a bit done at the same time as quickly as you can get done if you do one thing at a time until it's finished. And this is the stuff we're talking about when you hear about limiting work in process. The simple change we're talking about is putting this line here. So what we're saying to this person is you only have 3 jobs to work on, and your job is to work on those 3 until they're done. Sure, you can multitask between this one, and this one, because a little bit of multitasking will not have someone waiting around for a whole day for someone. They'll just wait around for a bit of time. But the point is, you don't get to delve further in and go behind here until one is done. This is called organizing the work. We're organizing it to make sure that our resource, our prized person, the person we want to be most productive, is not spending their time scrabbling around going from one thing to another, but is actually given some focused work they can work on. Remember, people want their capabilities to be used to add value to something. They don't want their capabilities to be used having to organize stuff just so they can find a way to use their capabilities. Limiting work in process, setting up the system so there's only a certain number of tickets that can be worked on at any one time, is a way to significantly increase our throughput of the whole system, allowing more of a sense of progress so more gets done. It seems too easy a fix, which is why people don't do it. You're mad if you're not. I'll see you next time.